The night everything changed didn't start with shouting. It didn't begin with chaos. It began in silence, in the quiet hum of a house filled with everyday life. Mendeecees Harris moved through that house like any father would, tired, on edge, and carrying the kind of weight that doesn't always show on the surface. His past was never far from him. His mistakes, his regrets, and the struggles of his journey from prison to fatherhood and reality TV always followed him. But on this night, it wasn't his past chasing him. It was the reality of being a father to a teenage son who was starting to pull away. Mendeecees had always claimed his kids were his world, especially his son, Omir. But even love can feel distant when trust is cracked and emotions are unspoken. Omir had changed. He had grown up fast, watching his father be taken away, return, and now stand in front of him not as a hero, but as a man trying to catch up. That's what made this night so painful. It wasn't just about a phone or a disagreement. It was about years of silence, missed time, and expectations neither of them knew how to meet anymore. It started with a smirk, Omir sitting on the couch, scrolling on his phone, Mendeecees watching from the kitchen, already weighed down by whispers. In the streets, rumors of betrayal and pressure to keep his public life intact. He saw Omir smile and something inside him sparked. He asked, "What's so funny?" But it wasn't just a question. It was frustration wrapped in curiosity. Omir replied without looking up, "Nothing." That word, that tone, it was enough to set off the storm. Mendeecees crossed the room quickly, his voice raised just a bit, telling his son to put the phone down. Omir looked up, eyes full of the quiet anger only teenagers carry, the kind that builds over years, not minutes. He shot back, "I'm not doing anything." But this wasn't just about the moment. This was about all the times Mendeecees wasn't there. All the times he missed birthdays, school events, late-night talks. It was about the cameras always being around, turning their real life into a performance. The argument grew fast. Too fast. Words flew that had been sitting heavy for too long. Omir saying his father was never there. Mendeecees demanding respect from a son who barely recognized him anymore. Upstairs, Yandi heard the tension rising. She paused. She knew this wasn't just a normal fight. It had weight. It had history. And it had danger. Then came the moment everyone's still talking about. Mendeecees didn't throw a punch, he didn't strike, but he grabbed. He moved toward Omir to take the phone, to stop the conversation, to take back control. But Omir pulled back, and Mendeecees snapped. His hands went to Omir's shoulders, pushing him down onto the couch. Not to hurt him, but out of raw, uncontrolled frustration, but it still hurt. Not the kind that leaves bruises, but the kind that shakes the heart. The room went quiet. Omir's phone hit the ground. Yandi rushed in, her voice clear and loud, cutting through the tension as she shouted for Mendeecees to stop. Omir looked up, not scared, but disappointed, like he had just lost another piece of trust he was barely holding on to. Mendeecees froze, his hands still in the air. He couldn't believe what just happened. The cameras caught it all. Reality TV doesn't pause when things get too real. And what they captured wasn't a scripted moment. It was a raw wound, split wide open for the world to see. By the next morning, clips from the scene were already making their rounds online. Headlines screamed about a brutal attack. Viewers chose sides. Some said Mendeecees had gone too far. Others said he was just a father who had reached his breaking point. But behind all the noise, behind the headlines and judgment,